Good morning, everybody. It's Laura, and it's Friday the 13th. I'm sending this out as a refresher for listeners of the class of 74. If you're new to the story, you can listen to this for a little while, but at one point I'm going to tell you to stop because I don't want to spoil season 1 for you. And then the regular listeners, I'm going to refresh your memories about season 1 so you remember where we are when season 2 opens tomorrow. As most of you know of the class of 74, a serialized story in the form of a podcast that opens in 1971 in a Connecticut high school where friendships, secrets, and first loves unfold against the backdrop of a changing America. Woohoo! You tell that's an AI description of the series. Okay, now you're back to me. This is a narrative soap opera about teenagers that opens in 1971. Our heroine, 15-year-old Cynthia Schuyler, is part of the first wave of female children who are told they can be whatever they want to be. Gloria Steinem is putting to bed the first issue of Ms. Magazine. The pill exists. It is national law that a woman maintains legal control over what is done to her body. The Vietnam War is still on. Across America, President Nixon has frozen all prices, wages, and rents. Jim Morrison of The Doors is the third rock star to die of a drug overdose. There is no such thing as a cell phone. Cynthia attends Brighton High School, a public school whose mission is to prepare students for higher education. As part of the post-war baby boom, her class is straining the seams of Brighton High. Cynthia was a big shot in 9th grade middle school, and she hates being on the bottom rung of high school as a new 10th grader. Cynthia is insecure about her looks. What 15-year-old wasn't? Okay, now, if you are new to this podcast, this is where you shut off and go back and start at the beginning of the story, which is episode 1 of season 1. So you go right ahead and we'll see you later, okay? So stop. We don't want to do any spoilers for you. So it's just us now, right? All you guys who listened last season? Okay, after only a week of high school, it appears Cynthia's social pattern may be shifting. Her relationship with her longtime on-again, off-again old boyfriend, Evan Whitaker, is unclear. And the most popular student from the other middle school, athletic superstar Clay Seton, has unexpectedly fallen for her. A compellingly attractive new girl from California, Katie Langston, inserted herself into Cynthia's life outside of school, and her vibe sometimes makes Cynthia feel uneasy. Her best friend, Annabelle Fitzgerald, becomes friends with Katie too. But Cynthia finds herself drawn to social outliers at school. 2 unusual young men in particular, Phil O'Brien, a disinterested sophisticate with very bad skin, who lives in an apartment with his divorced mother, and not Fred Cutter, a new student no one knows for sure where he's from, whose face has a remarkable angelic beauty. There is also the warm and forever laughing senior Cynthia likes, Dee Dee Visser, who appears happiest when aimlessly driving a carload of smoking and drinking kids around. Now another senior, the exalted captain of the football team, Teddy Hamilton, brings Katie Langston to school every morning because he lives next door to her. Cynthia meets Teddy through Katie, and her relationship with him became very rocky when she suspected his connection to steroid use on the football team. One of those football players, who was addicted to steroids, nearly killed Evan Whitaker in a fit of rage. Now, most of Cynthia's friends are members of families much like hers, who have risen economically in this last generation. But there are exceptions, and one of them is her neighbor and fellow 10th grader, Amelia Mimi Watson, who belongs to one of the old, moneyed families in Brighton. Families whose children are around during the summer, but disappear to boarding school in the fall. Mimi refuses to go and is currently in the Schuylers' guest room. Her parents are away trying to work on their really messed up marriage. Mimi broke her nose on the first day of school, which seems to have kindled a rebirth of her personality, from spoiled brat to possibly very popular girl. Another 10th grader in the neighborhood is Clark Allerton, a science nerd whose mother is a shut-in and whose professor father abuses him physically and mentally. Then we have the weird vice principal at school, Dr. Eagleton, whose closeness to the senior, Suzanne Slater, who is the head cheerleader, really troubles Cynthia. Suzanne is one of her old heroes. Also on Cynthia's mind is the dramatic weight loss and behavior of a fellow 10th grader who just made the cheerleading team herself, beautiful Betsy Satterfield. After Cynthia tried to talk to her about what's going on, Betsy demanded the school change her classes to keep Cynthia at a distance. Cynthia confidentially spoke to a guidance counselor about Betsy. We haven't heard anything from Rocco Trapezzano for a while, the pseudo-greaser who stayed back in school twice and who changed his appearance to impress Cynthia. Cynthia is very taken with Senora Cordova, her charismatic and colorful Spanish teacher, who is married to a car-crazy physics teacher also at Brighton High. Finally, the first Black student ever has just arrived at Brighton High, Lincoln Forbes. And Lincoln is in a state of shock over the sea of white faces he has to go to school with. The last day of season 1, where we pick up, is Tuesday, September 14th, 1971. Cynthia's new love, Clay Seton, had been found tied up with copper wire in the football stadium. Like his mother, Clay is a practicing Christian Scientist, but his father is not, and his father exerted his paternal rights to rush Clay to Boston for surgery to save his hand. Mrs. Schuyler was supposed to pick up Cynthia and Mimi at school today, but Annabelle's mother, Mrs. Fitzgerald, showed up instead, saying Cynthia's mother was busy with something else. When they arrive home, the phone is ringing. Cynthia is relieved when she hears Clay's voice, but he says he's not good, and then the phone goes dead, and he doesn't call back. Cynthia is beside herself, wondering if they amputated his hand. She desperately wishes for her mother and asks Mrs. Fitzgerald, "Where is she?" And Mimi blurts, "Washington, D.C., because that is where Cynthia's father has suffered a heart attack." All right, you're up to date. That's it, my friends. That's where we are in the class of 74. So I'll see you tomorrow at the beginning of season 2. Thanks for listening. Really.